Hello guys, it's Randall with Bitraged. So I want to do a video for you guys here just as we are getting towards Christmas. And I want to address a couple things. First of all, I wanted to give you a little bit of a nugget as we go into the new year. Encouragement to keep pressing forward, and also wish you guys all a happy holiday season. Before we get into all that, I do want to talk about something very important, and that is mindset. So as we are diving into a new year here, we're getting ready to go into 2019. One of the most crucial things to your success, whether it be trading or anything else, is your mindset. It's your psychology. The biggest reason why people fail is not because they don't have opportunity. This is a myth that's presented on the news. It's total crap. The biggest reason why people do not succeed is because they don't have the right mindset. The people that succeed, you'll find that almost always their mindset is determined, it's committed. They're willing to take risks, but they're also willing to be patient and wait for things to happen. You know, a lot of us, we want things to happen much more quickly, and we get impatient. And a lot of people quit trading just before they would have made that breakthrough, just before they come out of the tunnel, or just before they start to see the light. So as we go into this new year, I encourage those of you who are just starting out in the course to really put in the effort, really make this happen. And, you know, this is about you. This is about your future. It's about your family. What kind of legacy are you going to leave to your family? It's not about making loads of money. It's about leaving a legacy for your family of commitment, determination, you know, hard work, but seeing things through and making things happen. So yes, money is important. We all want that money. But at the end of the day, it's not the money that is as important as looking back and seeing that, you know, I've been successful because I put in the effort. I've made this a reality because I was willing to sacrifice things that really aren't important. You know, I'm not saying you can't watch TV or play video games, but if you have to put those things aside to really become successful, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to put aside things that really don't matter right now to really be the person you want to be? So that is my encouragement to you going into this new year. Get your mindset right. If you get discouraged, get back up and go back to the charts and really backtest and go over and figure out what is going on. If you're not ready to live trade, paper test. And, you know, when you make a trade and it doesn't go your way, go back, you know, a couple days later, go back and look at the chart and see what happens and say, okay, I was expecting this to happen, but it didn't. Here's what happens. Develop your trend lines out, develop your patterns out, and see if there's something you missed. This is huge. This will make huge breakthroughs for you, because you'll see over time, you'll notice things like, okay, I've seen this pattern before, and 75% of the time it is going to do this. But there's also a chance that it will do this. And here is what I found, you know, the signal is when it usually does this over the most probable. And these type of things don't always mean the difference between, you know, 1% and 10% profit, but they usually mean the difference between a loss and a break even, or a loss and a profit. So it's little things like this where you change from taking 4 1% losses to taking 2 1% losses and a break even. It's little tweaks. There's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point. If you haven't read it, I would highly encourage you to read that book. It's an amazing book, but the premise, the idea of the book is that it's little things that make a big difference. It's not huge moves that make a big difference. It's little things. And likewise, catching big moves in the market is awesome, but it's not those big moves that are going to make you successful. It's the little consistencies. It's the little tweaks you make in your trading. It's the little things you discover. And this is why backtesting is so important. So, backtesting. I went through corn, and I don't really know why, but corn, wheat, soybeans fascinate me. Probably one of the reasons is because they are quite a bit volatile. But something interesting I found in my backtesting, and I want to share with you, not so much so you can go and plan to trade corn, although you can, but more specifically so that you can realize that there's nuances to every single commodity. And Forex pair and crypto, whatever it is, there's nuances. So they may all move in patterns, but every single commodity is unique. So it has unique behavior, it has unique patterns that play out really well for that pair. Once you figure this stuff out, then you can find your favorite pairs and you can master those. You might take 10, 15, 20% out of Euro USD every month, or fairly consistently, just because you've mastered that pair and you know how it moves, and so you see the moves very clearly. But corn was interesting. So you'll notice I have these lines. Something very interesting happens almost every year with corn, right around May, between May and June, almost every year. And it dumps really hard. Now, those moves are getting smaller, but they're still significant moves. I mean, this last one, conservative, I would say about 15%. And if you got in really tight, which would be hard on corn because it does wick, it would be 26%. But then the scale-ins, you might be able to get scale-ins all the way down on the hourly chart, 2, 4, 5% scale-ins, which add up. So this whole move, you could be talking 30, 40%. But the point is that this is a nuance of corn, that between May and June, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little earlier, it dumps really hard. Now, as a regular trader trading MACD and EMAs and support and resistance, you'd have a hard time pinpointing these, trades. But when you trade structure and patterns, it's a lot easier to get in on these, to see it coming and to plan. So if you know between May and June that corn is probably going to dump, then you notice that it's developing a ascending corrective movement. You're looking for an entry point. And if you can find that entry point, you might get in on a really good trade that you can anticipate for 6 months. So planning ahead and saying, okay, I know on this pair that this type of pattern plays out really well. So this is just something that with corn, but every pair has its nuances. And once you put in the effort, you don't have to backtest every pair, every Forex pair. And I encourage you not to. There's a lot of them, like I don't trade the peso. I don't trade a lot of the Swiss franc pairs. I trade a couple. USD, Swiss franc I've traded recently. I don't trade a lot of the uncommon currencies, I guess I would just call them, or the currencies of countries that are economically depressed. They're very volatile. So your main currencies, your USD, Euro, British Pound, Aussie, Yen, Kiwi, those are what I trade. And within that, I have a select few that I'm really paying attention to a lot. Euro USD, USD CAD, USD Yen, and then Euro Yen and Kiwi Yen. Those I will really pay attention to and look for big moves. So it's focusing your down on, first of all, 1 to 3 pairs that you do really well on, that you really understand really well. And then as you grow, you can add more that you focus on. But I would encourage you to find several pairs to backtest and really get to know really well. And it doesn't mean you can't trade others, you can't look for setups on others. It's just really focusing and getting used to the way these pairs work. So these patterns work on every commodity, but there's different nuances for each one. So that's what I would encourage you going forward into 2019. Really pay attention to that, really focus. 2019 is going to be a really big year. Some things to keep in mind for 2019. Several countries are coming into housing and development crashes. What I'm expecting to be housing development crashes. So construction stocks are going to tank most likely in 2019, going into 2020. Something to keep in mind. You can short those for some good money. New Zealand, Australia rather, not New Zealand. Australia, the housing market is not in a good position. It's something to keep in mind for if you have opportunities to short that. I would not invest in anything related to that. So just some things to keep in mind with that. Going into 2019, we're going to see some really big moves on some major pairs in Forex, and you're going to want to be prepared for that. That's why backtesting is so important and just really getting into the charts. So I would really encourage you guys to buckle down and put in the effort. You know, Christmas is probably going to be a little slow. Don't let that slow you down going into the new year, because suddenly you're going to see big moves and you're going to miss them and you're going to be like, okay, how'd I miss that? You need to be on your A game. So that's what I would encourage you, and definitely take time with your family. Enjoy the Christmas holiday season. Whether you celebrate Christmas or not doesn't really matter to me. Just enjoy the time with your family. Definitely have fun, enjoy yourself, but don't lose focus of the long-term goal. Don't lose focus of where you want to be, and stick it out. Put in the effort, and it will happen for you. That's about all I had. I just want to encourage you guys going into the new year. This might be the last video I get before the season. I'm going to try and do a couple videos for you guys. One on management I have already finished. I just need to edit. So a couple things hopefully I will get out before the new year for you guys. If you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to shoot me or Joe a message in Slack. Some new things coming with the group here, the Bitraged group. Going into 2019, we're going to change some things. We are going to change around how we do webinars. We're talking about this. We want to really focus on that and make that really good. So some things are going to change. We're going to try and do things better and offer more. And your feedback would definitely be appreciated with that. Thanks so much, guys, for all your support. Thank you for sticking with it. Thank you for those of you who've been with us since the very beginning. We really appreciate you guys. And, you know, if you believe in this, then tell your friends about it. You know, share it with people that have that commitment, that drive, that desire to succeed, that desire to be better. Give them an opportunity as well. Wishing you and your families a very Merry Christmas and holiday season, and an awesome new year to come. Wishing you all the very best. Thanks so much. Bye.